So what y'all do for Father's Day?
Absolutely nothing.
Did the kids get you some macaroni necklaces or something?
No, sir. I did squat. I got a new wedding band for Father's Day though. It's actually nice. It's smooth. You know, she said it's more prevalent. You know, see it better. I'm like, you can see the last one pretty good. So no, you can see this one better. I was like, all right, but I made crab legs for dinner though.
Mm-hmm. Damn, you had to cook on Father's Day? That's messed up.
Oh no, I didn't mind. Like, I enjoy. I'm getting my cooking feel back. I used to love cooking, so I'm kind of getting that back. So I was cool. I was cool with that.
What you can?
It was cool, bro. It was super low key. Just chill with the fam and everything, man. I got this air fryer that I wanted that I saw in an infomercial randomly up one night, and I was like, "Damn, man, I want that motherfucker."
Dude, like having this house, like I be seeing so much stuff. I'm like, oh man, I want to do that. Like I was looking up fucking attic ladders earlier. I'm like, I could do that. But I got some socks, which I'm happy about. Like I got another pair of socks with my kids' faces on it. So,
okay,
that's good.
Yeah, it's cool. And whenever I wear them, people love them. So it's a conversation piece.
You have to send me a picture of those.
I got you. But we ventured out for the first time during quarantine. Like we went to my uncle's house. It was like 10 people there max, but still like more people than I've been around for like I don't know,
a long time.
3 months.
Yeah,
still weird.
Yeah, because like you can't touch nobody. Like you just
and you want to, you'd be like, hey.
Right, it's people that you usually hug and shit, and it's like
you can't hug nobody when you leave.
Elbows.
Motherfuckers
you gotta just walk off.
But we did have a moment like y'all, like when we were leaving, we went down Lake Drive just to see, and there was plenty of people out there. Nobody had masks on. Like it was just a beach full of people. My daughter was pissed in the background. I mean, in the back seat. She's like, "There's so many people out here. Nobody's wearing a mask. That person doesn't have a mask. That person doesn't have." Like she was upset.
They wilding out here like this running went away. They ain't went nowhere.
They forgot all about it.
It's coming back strong as fuck too. Like the numbers started going back. What'd you say? What'd you say, Ken?
No, I said it's gonna come back and bite everybody in the ass.
Man. But let's get started.
Welcome to episode 154 of Technical File, the sports podcast you never knew you needed. It's your boy TIMKINZD number 3, aka Ass Ketchum, aka Mr. Give It To Me. We go ahead and roll this out this week. We're going to get the body shaking. Hey.
I'm the Air J.
Only known as
the Air J. Not joining us this week is the real life Tifa Lockhart. Y'all got to help me with this.
Mm-hmm.
The girl next door, holding it down for all the women that love sports. I didn't say her name. Camille.
There you go.
Star of the crew.
Oh. And it's your boy K here. It's the gentleman.
Oh, that gentleman.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, it exposes like how much Camille does.
We can't
I was waiting for somebody.
Me. All right. Everyday gentleman.
24/7.
These niggas here, boy. I tell you, I've been gone 1 week. They just forgot about my life. Yeah, I can't take no more weeks off.
Also known as
K Diddy.
We take that? Take that?
I'm gone. I did.
Oh, my bad, bro. Anywho, you can find us at www.technicalfile.com. Don't forget to put the K on that motherfucker.
Damn right.
You can also find us on Facebook at Technical File Podcast. We also have a Facebook group, Technical File Pod Over Time, where you can join in with the listeners, fans, and fam. Also, don't forget now, we got other social media platforms, also known as the Twitter and the Instagram at Technical File.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I see you. But like I say every week, man, if you guys enjoy being a part of this amazing Tech File fam, share with everybody you know. Your mama, your daddy, your granny, your uncle, everybody. Put everybody on Tech File. We don't grow without y'all. So let's make this thing.
We tell them welcome. Welcome.
Welcome.
About Tech File Challenge.
See, Camille did it. Shout out to Camille.
Did you?
I didn't make it.
I was gonna say I didn't see anybody do it, but I must miss Camille.
No, it was Camille. She definitely did it. I ain't make it, but that's a conversation we gotta have off.
Okay.
But yeah.
Right. Off mic. What did we say last week? Shout out where you from?
See, and then had to do
just screenshot the show. Tell us where you're from.
Racing.
Share with your friends.
Y'all know where y'all at. Do it. Share it.
But wherever you find podcasts, you can find us. That includes Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud.
Ooh.
Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio.
Y'all hear that?
Barely, motherfucker.
Himalaya,
like a player.
Wooshka. And wherever you're listening to this episode right now, while there, make sure that you like, subscribe, rate, and review. 5 stars or better. It helps us, and we appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Top 10 listening cities. Number 1, finally back in the top spot, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, was she not here? Hey, shout out to Milwaukee. Hey, in fighting spirit, bro. They back, Millie.
Number 2, Racine.
Racilla.
Number 3 is a curveball. Dublin, Ireland.
Oh shit!
Oh no! We appreciate you.
Number 4, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
It get cold in Minnesota.
They say showing love.
Number 5, Germantown, Wisconsin.
Okay, Germantown.
Number 6, Crowley, Texas.
Texas always showing love.
Hey, we got love in Texas. I love y'all too.
Number 7, Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, Chi-Town.
Blue Bears. Number 8, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte been showing love too, though. Low key.
Carolina.
Number 9, San Diego, California.
Okay, San Diego.
All the way to the West Coast. Okay.
And rounding out the top 10 is Houston, Texas.
H-Town.
ATL, where y'all at? ATL be on every week. Y'all tripping.
They went on vacation, bro.
International listeners from Ireland, as mentioned previously, and Spain, as usual.
Spain is usually there a lot.
Yeah, Spain is here too.
All right, let's get to the sports. All right, so a crew member from Richard Petty Motorsports, who is Bubba Watson's team. Bubba Watson? No, that's the golfer. Bubba Wallace.
I was about to say Bubba Wallace.
Discovered a noose Sunday at Talladega Superspeedway and alerted NASCAR immediately. NASCAR then contacted the FBI, and the FBI sent 15 agents to the track to investigate. This action led to an outpouring of support from other NASCAR drivers and crews, with a large number of them pushing Bubba's car at the beginning of the race on Monday. The FBI has since determined that Bubba Wallace was not the victim of a hate crime as suspected, and that a pull rope was fashioned like a noose and had been on the garage door at Talladega Superspeedway since as early as last fall. So obviously when this story broke, like, it was a huge thing because, you know, obviously NASCAR has done like a really big push to kind of curb racism in the last couple weeks. I mean, I guess better late than never. But this was kind of seen as a setback because Bubba Wallace is the only black driver on the circuit. So it was nice to see that community come together and rally behind him. And I mean, it's good to see that it wasn't like a hate crime, like, you know, leaving a noose is some serious old school racism.
Yeah, that's pure racism. That's pure racism at its purest.
Yeah, I mean, I would be interested to see like why there was a noose in general. Like, I mean, I get it, like it's a little bit easier to pull, but like nobody noticed that since last fall. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying it's suspicious. It's just like that's a weird thing just to be like anything that could be considered a noose. Like,
correct.
Yeah.
And it only showed up in this one garage that was assigned to the black dude. Like,
and they were saying that nobody had any idea that he would get assigned to that garage. It just was a chance. It just so happened that he got assigned to the garage, and when he went there and saw it. But that's the story that they're putting out there. The only problem is the other side now is calling it a Jussie Smollett situation, and, you know, they was just doing it for attention, and, you know, it was fake from the start, and it was a bad fuel to a bad fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know enough. Like, I guess when it broke, I was kind of like, how I would imagine that they have tons of security footage, you know, like to work from, because these are, you know, multi-million-dollar vehicles that they have,
right?
You know, that they have in these garages. So I'm assuming that the security has to be kind of outrageous. And given how quickly they were able to do this investigation, like what wrapped up within 24 to 48 hours, like
they ain't had nothing else to do.
But again, like that, but yeah, so I was wondering like how people, like who even has access to a garage to put something like that in there? Like, was it a rival team or was, you know, but
right. And that was the question.
It's a moot point at this point.
So what does that do for NASCAR's message, I guess? Because you already alienated a lot of your fan base, even though you should have, even though if they got alienated, fine, fuck them, whatever. Yeah. But in essence, you've alienated your fan base to support this message strongly. For that to happen, you back the only black racer for it all to turn around and just be, hey, it was already there. It's just a rope from the garage door.
I mean, honestly, to me personally, like I don't think it's gonna change anything. Like I think anybody that was likely to, you know, back NASCAR before is still going to, and people that wanted to stick to being racist, they weren't gonna be swayed any. They're just gonna be louder now, I guess. But yeah. I don't think that it really sets back that message that they were trying to put out. At least to me, it wouldn't. Because again, like the people that don't believe it, I mean, the people that are like vocal about it now, like they were the ones that didn't believe it in the first place.
True. Because they initially came out and disputed it and said, well, like I said, where's the camera footage and where's the security and da-da-da-da.
Let's not jump to conclusions and yada.
Right.
Like,
yeah. And I worked at the Milwaukee Mile because I used to work at State Fair. And yeah, security, but then I was part of security too at like 15, 16, 17. So it's not as tight as you would think.
Yeah, but I mean, like a NASCAR race and like the races that go on at the Milwaukee Mile aren't necessarily going to be on the same level.
They be having, I forgot what level it is. It's up there though. It's like if it's not the actual NASCAR event, I think they had one, but outside of the actual NASCAR event, it's like one level under it.
Well, isn't like I guess that's all NASCAR. Like I don't know what they call it now, but it used to be like the Busch Series. Like there's like
like little trucks and stuff like that.
No, that's something different. Like there's like the big NASCAR, and then there's like the junior NASCAR, and then there's like truck NASCAR. I don't know. Like they change sponsor names all the time, so I don't know. I don't even know what the main NASCAR circuit is called now.
Pro Series. I think it's the Pro Series.
Well, no, I mean it was Nextel at one point. It was like Winston at one point. It was Sprint at another time. Like I just don't know what it's called.
Those are all different cups.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're different levels though.
For sure.
Whatever. It don't matter. This is more NASCAR talk than we've ever had, including last week. The Cowboys have officially received quarterback Dak Prescott's signed $31.4 million exclusive franchise tender. So that means that the two sides now have until July 15th to work out a long-term deal. Otherwise, one cannot be done until after the season. Do you think that they will be able to work out a deal in the next 3 weeks?
Negative. It took him this damn long for him to sign the tender. And he was holding out because he was really trying to get the contract. He was like, hey, give me my monies.
Yeah.
And Jerry, ain't nobody heard from Jerry. Has anybody heard from Jerry?
He disappeared. He in the
Jerry was Houdini on motherfuckers, bro. Poof, disappeared, bro. Like, I don't know where the hell Jerry been, but he ain't been negotiating.
Yeah.
That's like what you're like. He's adhering to that thing that your mom tell you. Like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. He saw all this shit. Like, he's like, there's no way I'm getting out of this without saying something stupid. So I'm just gonna shut the fuck up.
I mean, you got all that money. You don't want to get Dak some of it. You might as well put it in your PR team. I'm just saying.
They're like, don't let Jerry say shit.
Hell no. Take every phone from him.
Yeah, well, I think for Dak, he got his money for this year, but I don't think he's gonna resign.
What you think, Ken? That's your backup team, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. Black quarterback though.
Yeah, I mean, he go get his money somewhere. I just don't know. Dallas ain't giving it to him, and he's talking about $40 million.
Yeah, he a fool with it. He's
talking about around $40 million. I'm like,
hey, how much is Kirk Cousins getting paid? I'd much rather have that.
Not 40. I think it's like Kirk might get like 36.
Yeah, I was like,
inflation. Like we said, the cost of business is going up. Like,
it's the money, man.
I mean, but he came in hot and then he faltered like most of the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So he kind of got like mediocre as the season went on. Like, yeah, he had put up big numbers throughout the season, but he started so hot.
Hey,
look,
we're talking about NFL quarterbacks here. Like, mediocre gets you paid, above average gets
mediocre gets you paid.
That's fair.
Because boy, Tannehill had one season. Look at him now.
It wasn't a full season, was it?
One season. And he had 8 games. Look at him now. And Dak can't even get it. He been over there balling for them for the same damn team. Yeah.
When you're right, you're right.
Yeah. You're definitely right, my good son.
I don't think he'll resign. I don't think so. I think he'll get up out of there. If I was him, I would, because I mean, it'll be some teams that gonna need quarterbacks. Who knows what happens in Buffalo? Who knows where Cam goes? But there's gonna be some teams out there that are gonna need a quarterback when they done trying shit out over in San Diego.
I feel like
there's gonna be some teams that need quarterbacks. Cleveland might not. Baker might not last.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot changes in a year. I mean, look, honestly, at this point, I would probably be taking whatever guarantee money they have on the table, because like you don't even know if they're gonna have a season this year. Like you don't know what the revenue is gonna be like.
Yeah,
like bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush, or whatever the saying is.
There's so many people. CBAs will be fucked up from not having these seasons or having these shortened seasons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the salary caps is gonna be all screwed and wonky. Like, it's a lot of money that's gonna go gonna be missing money next year. So yeah, like getting the franchise tag now, signing the neck. Yeah, he get his money now because all of that's this year. But you know, that long term money is what he's been trying to fight for because we don't know what's gonna happen after this season.
Yeah. But I'm wondering if Dallas, knowing that, like, if they lowered their offer or anything, like, maybe that's why he took the tender now because, like, whatever money he had on the table before, like, they come back. Like,
It's probably dwindling because the season, like, well, next season this coming season ain't even guaranteed, so we might have to ratify the CBA, and the money kind of tight, Dak, man. We've
had to reassess because of the current climate.
Yeah, we play Zeke. You know how that goes, man. We just got CD. He gonna need money in 5 years. We can't have you on the cap at that amount, in 5 years. But CD gonna need his money.
Did they sign Cooper back yet? Did they re-sign Cooper?
Yeah, they got Cooper.
Yeah.
They re-signed him though. They gave him a long term.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think he got like either 4 or 5 years or something like that.
Well deserved.
But yeah, Cooper got his money. Zeke got his money. They told him, Jamal Adams trying to force his way over to Dallas. Is he on there? I think we talking about his crazy ass too.
No, but you can do it now.
Well, Jamal Adams still trying to force his way out of the Jets, and he's been trying to force his way to Dallas since last year. Remember that whole fiasco and debacle mid-season? I want to get traded. No, why would they try to trade me? They put me on the trade block. All right, well then trade me. Like, come on, bro. That's how it all started. They was just fielding offers. He got upset. It happens.
Hey, use whatever leverage you can get. Like,
but he still got 2 years left on his contract.
That's why you got to use whatever leverage you have. Like, he ain't got much.
He ain't got nothing. He got nothing. Because they gonna literally need like 2 first. Like the type of player he is, he's an all-pro safety. Don't get, and he could probably play linebacker too. But he's an all-pro safety, and they don't really get paid like that anyways up at that position. But he's only in his 3rd year, bro. He's probably top 2 safeties in the league. He may be number 1.
Hey, don't convince me. Convince the Jets.
They see it. They know that. That's why they hold on to him. Because he only like $22 million over the next 3 years.
How old is he?
23? 24?
They gotta be super young.
Okay.
Maybe 25 tops. But because they got to go to college, so I can't remember if he came out his junior year or senior year. That would make a difference.
I don't think it matters. Let's just say he in his early 20s.
Yeah, early 20s. Like, he still got his whole, like, yeah, he can be a long-term issue, and they would need, if I was them, but the Jets are dumb. They do dumb shit all the time. I need at least 2 firsts and maybe like 2 thirds or something like that. Like, I need a lot back. I need a starter coming back or something. Like, I would demand a house. Like, he's worth a Khalil Mack type trade. Like, that's the type of caliber player he is.
Speaking of which,
yeah. He's just trying to get out of there, bro.
Ken, how you feel like that trade worked out for y'all?
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm not. It still ain't proved itself yet, bro. We need to get in the playoffs. We need to get close to smelling the Super Bowl, B. We're not close yet. It's not his fault though. We haven't had a quarterback in offense. So, but we gave up the house. Huh?
Oh, now you ain't had a quarterback or an offense.
He admitted that a while ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
I have said it.
Y'all got Nick Foles now?
Chill out, bro. What if y'all? Right, bro. We could have. Cam's still out here, but we go pick up.
Cam's still out. Cap's still out here.
Come on, bro. They tripping. They don't want to win, bro. It is what it is.
Hey, listen. Y'all know what? Y'all getting Trippy Mitchie out of here.
He got to, bro. He been tripping, bro. That's what he been doing. He been tripping.
But you mentioned Colin Kaepernick. Medium has announced that Colin Kaepernick will be joining Medium's board of directors. Medium will also partner with Colin Kaepernick on Kaepernick Publishing to create feature content focused on race and civil rights within America. So that's just a good look for him.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Let's see. So on that same kind of wavelength, Las Vegas Aces guard Angel Bacatri has created a petition to allow WNBA players to put the names of quote, human beings who have been injured or killed in incidents involving police brutality on their jerseys for next year. So stuff like Breonna Taylor, George Floyd.
That's dope.
The list is endless, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I've also seen like mock-ups of like being able to put Black Lives Matter or other types of I don't know, phrases and stuff on there. So I mean, I don't know how far she'll get on it, but that would be cool to see.
Yeah, definitely be dope.
I'd like to see it extended to the NBA too, like if they can.
That'll be dope.
Like in Premier League too.
Yeah, the Premier League did. I think we mentioned that last week. And I mean, like, especially since they're in the bubble anyway, like it's something to kind of differentiate from like their to further differentiate from their normal operations, I guess.
Sure.
And actually, in the WNBA, Jaquil Jones, Natasha Cloud, Renee Montgomery, and LaToya Sanders have all announced that they'll be sitting out the upcoming season. But it's for different reasons. So Jaquil Jones mentioned that she has health concerns. And she was actually the runner-up for MVP last year. Or no, she's an MVP caliber player for the Connecticut Sun, who were last year's runner-up. The Washington Mystics, who won the title last year, beating Connecticut, are losing both Sanders and Cloud. The Atlanta Dream are trying to bounce back from a down season, and Montgomery is a part of their veteran foundation, having started every game over the last 2 seasons. Both Montgomery and Cloud specifically mentioned continuing the fight for social justice as enormous factors in their decision. And I don't remember if Tim mentioned this on mic or if it was before we started recording, but the NBA's official deadline to pull out is June 24th, which is today for first day listeners. But Woj did just tweet out this afternoon that it's a soft deadline, and essentially players have until July 1st, which is when teams have to submit their final rosters for the bubble. So
that's next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say between now and the end of next week, we should know who's going and who's staying home. A couple of people have actually.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I was just gonna say before we started discussing it, like a couple of people have already come out and said they won't be going. The first was Trevor Ariza. So he opted out of participating in the NBA's Orlando restart, committing instead to a 1-month visitation window with his young son. He's involved in a custody case over his 12-year-old son and the mother's decision to grant a court-ordered 1-month visitation period during the league's quarantine of teams in Orlando. So this led him to choosing his parenting responsibilities over competing with the Blazers.
Which is fair.
Yeah. I also feel like it was kind of, I don't know how to phrase this, but like it was strategic on the mother's part to.
Yeah, they said they've been going back and forth for a minute.
Yeah, this just seems kind of like a spiteful move, but I don't know the intricacies of their custody case, so I don't want to comment on it further than that. But
right.
You're putting him in a position where he has to choose between going to work or
seeing his kid.
Seeing his son. So.
I want to look into it though, because that's what it looks like.
Right. But again, I'm not involved, and I'm not well read on the subject beyond what Walsh tweeted out yesterday. So
correct.
It's the end of my commentary on that. And another player was Davis Bertans. So he plays for the Wizards. He's actually an upcoming free agent this summer. Well, not this summer, I guess this fall.
I welcome him to Milwaukee, bro.
Yeah, I mean he's a shooter.
6'10",
but
big ass sharpshooter.
So he's 27 years old, and he's on the cusp of a lucrative long-term contract. But he has a history of 2 ACL injuries in his past, and he just didn't want to risk, his long-term future over what likely will be 8 games and then finishing it out. Because best case scenario, they win to force the tie or to that they win enough to force a play-in game, and then they win that, and then they play the Bucks in the first round. So it's like, hey, well, what are we really doing here? So it does say that as an organization, the Wizards have fully supported his decision, and that they remain determined to sign him as a free agent this fall.
And again, I welcome them to Milwaukee, though.
You just want everybody that's good in Milwaukee.
Hey, listen, I talked about him before the season started. Remember, I talked about him last off for the trade deadline. I was like, I would love for if we made any move, that would be the move that I would pick up Davis Bertans. You have to go back and check it out, but I definitely mentioned it.
I remember. That doesn't change what I said, which is you want anybody that's good in Milwaukee. That's all I said. What else do we have here? So some injury news. 49ers actually lost 2 wide receivers to injury. So Deebo Samuel broke his foot. I don't really have a timeline for his recovery. But kick returner / wide receiver Richie James Jr. broke a bone in his wrist, and he's likely to be sidelined for at least 2 months.
I was like, damn, Deebo. I feel bad for Richie too. Yeah, it was. Deebo was. That's a blow for them. That's a big blow for them.
Do you know what his timeline for recovery is?
I don't know. I don't think he's gonna be available in time for training camp though. But
I mean, broke his foot, I would imagine, but it depends on where he broke it and how severe it is. In the NBA, Mavericks guard Courtney Lee is going to miss the bubble because of an injury that he sustained during quarantine. He injured his left calf, and they said he wouldn't be able to work out again before July 1st, but they haven't released any other details beyond that. So maybe he plays, maybe he won't. But I know when the news initially broke, they said that they were going to be on the market for replacement guards because they don't foresee him coming back. So we'll see.
It's going to be interesting what free agents get picked up.
Yeah, there have been a couple so far. Like I know David Nwaba signed with Houston.
He got a 2-year. I was like, oh, y'all signing.
Yeah. Corey Brewer, I think, went to Denver, right? I think it was Denver.
Possibly. But yeah, it'll be interesting, especially Isaiah Thomas. I'm kind of curious as to where he's going to fall if somebody picks him up.
See, hopefully, I always feel bad for him when he comes up because, man, he was so close to getting his money, and then real time injury. That's why, I don't blame people like Bertans. It's what am I playing for? Just there's very limited upside for me playing in this thing, and I'm putting my health at risk, COVID related, and I'm risking injury. So it's
just to get smacked in the first round, bro. Don't do
it. Yeah, these are facts.
Yeah, so.
It'd be exciting games though, because their offense was crazy. But
yeah, but regardless of what reasons the players have for not playing, I can't really blame anybody for what decision they make. Because it's if I was given the choice of, do you want to go back to work or do you want to keep saying no?
Right.
Man, with all this shit going on, keep me out.
Yeah, and it's going back up. I'll stay at the crib, bro. Just pay me my money. Give me my money.
Well, the NBA players aren't getting paid, but they can afford to not get paid a little bit more than I can. So,
fair.
Speaking of which, so we had a couple notable athletes test positive for coronavirus. The first of which was Denver's Nugget star Nikola Jokic. He tested positive in Serbia, and his return flight to the U.S. was temporarily delayed. He has been asymptomatic since testing positive last week, and he is expected to be cleared to travel to Denver within the next 7 days. another European athlete with the initial NJ. I'm getting an echo. Novak Djokovic, he also tested positive for coronavirus. He and his wife. He tested positive after playing a series of exhibition matches he organized in Serbia and Croatia with zero social distancing.
Yeah, I seen that interview earlier. He was saying that he thought he was doing a good thing, and they planned the events at a time when the numbers were trending downward, and they did what they thought was right at the time because he was just looking at it as bringing, a lot of his people to just bringing people together. And
that's the worst thing you can do right now. literally, the one thing that they say is stay away from people. And you're like, I think I'm doing a good job by bringing people together. That's stupid as hell. I'm sorry.
He said the numbers was going down. He thought he was doing.
That don't fucking matter. They going down because people staying the fuck away from each other. Like, why would you think that's a good idea?
I was like, bro. I was just looking at it. I was like, bro. All right, dog. Ain't nobody finna buy that shit. I thought I was doing a good thing by bringing everybody together. All right.
So he's actually the fourth player to test positive after participating in these matches. So yeah, they were just like an incubator at these matches. Like, what the fuck, man? And like, I have limited sympathy for him already because it came out earlier this year that he was an anti-vaxxer. So it's like, you just don't care about diseases. That's the gist I'm getting from.
Yeah. Crazy. Let's see.
Be smart, people. Social distance, please.
Let me run through this baseball real quick, man. These motherfuckers here. We might have a season, we might not. We might have a season, we might not. All right, so Major League Baseball has asked the MLB Player Association if players can report to camp by July 1 and will sign off on health and safety protocols. The union has been asked to respond by 5 p.m. on Tuesday today. I believe that the union said that they were all going to vote yes for it. If they haven't already, they already voted yes. They were saying they did. Okay. So the number of games would be 60. Opening day would be around July 24th. Spring training would be July 1st. And the MLB asked the MLBPA on Monday whether players would be able to report the training in their respective cities within 7 days by July 1st. Number of teams in the playoffs will be 10, so there is no expanded playoffs. And the salary structure will be full pro rata. Full prorated, I know, but it's just pro rata. Sorry, I am Ron Burgundy. Which for 60 games means that players will earn around 37% of their full season salary as long as the truncated schedule is completed. Couple thoughts on that for me. So pretty much it's going to be a sprint of a season because 60 games compared to 182 that they typically play.
162.
162. Jesus Christ, bro. It's going to be... So, put it like this. Typically, the Brewers start off real hot, and then everybody like, oh, by June, we know what kind of team they'll be. If the Brewers start off real hot again, more than likely they're going to be in the playoffs. Because if you pretty much bomb out the first week or two of the season, you're out of there.
Right.
You might as well give up. And then at that point, you'll probably get a lot of stars calling in and like, nah, I'm good, bro, depending on what their team is. So there's a high possibility that some of the best teams will be out of the playoffs. Like some of the really good teams, because some of these teams, the Nationals was under 500 after 60 games last year. So you'll see teams that usually fight and claw their way back in, or the big popular teams who usually start off slow and got to take a while because they got all the old stars to get their rhythm and find their shot or they swing. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of teams out of there. 2, no expanded playoffs, like I said before. 3, some of the best teams may not make it up. I said that. Number 4, Brewers may be the favorite just because we start off hot. Number 5, the new CBA. Go ahead.
Are the Brewers a notorious hot start team?
Yes,
recently we have been, because before we was real bad at starting slow. Like, is it super slow or super hot? But there hasn't been no in between really.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like that year that they made the NCLS, like I feel like they were terrible for the first half of the year, and then they just got hot in August and September.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. Usually, and then they've had
like 2 years
seasons
ago
where we've started off really hot, and then everybody be like, "Boo!" By June, we'll know who they really are, and after that, that's when we usually choke the season away and be like, "Oh man, we was in first, and now all of a sudden we end in third place." Like we've done that a lot too. So I was like, kind of.
So really, there's no trend. It's just got yeah, whatever.
Right. Now, like I said, there's no in between though. Ain't no, oh, you know what, they're trending. You know, they're there. No, it's either we gonna be there or we ain't.
Those are the only two options, really.
Yeah.
Anywho, new CBA. So the new CBA negotiations are next year, by the way, for MLB. So not only do you have this fiasco of BS that they have to go on this year with the shortened season, now you have to renegotiate a whole new CBA with these messed up salaries and financial situation of this season.
And take into account that there's probably bad blood from this negotiation already.
Oh, there's a lot of it. There's a whole lot. So it's probably gonna be a long negotiating. It's gonna be rough for the MLB for a little bit. It's gonna be a lot of hate.
So I just got a push notification. Apparently, Ben Roethlisberger was formerly addicted to alcohol and pornography.
Damn. I mean.
That's why his arm's so strong.
I was like, is it an addiction?
You're slinging that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, one of the strongest arms in the game, though. Like,
hey, at least he just abusing himself at that point.
Right? He had a crib. Like, why would you say that? Who asked you this, sir?
Yeah, please, bro. You need to get real.
Who wanted to know this information about you that you have to just come out like, yeah?
He was at a Christian conference, so I guess he was at a Christian conference, so I guess
Oh, he was testifying.
He was coming. He was coming clean.
I see what you did there.
Man, fuck Ben Roethlisberger. Anyways, the freaking commissioner is calling it the implementation clause. That's what they're calling this whole thing. He's using the implementation clause to restart the season for 60 games. Like you said before, July 1st, or like I said before, July 1st will be the arrival date. And just for this whole shit show and fiasco, there have been 8 rejected proposals over 4 weeks.
So actually, this brings up something I was thinking about earlier. Because I was reading a thing about somebody from The Athletic was calling for the NBA to shorten their season going forward. And they brought up like how that may increase parity a little bit and like what shortening the season would do going forward for like determining a champion. Because essentially the point of the regular season is to seed teams for the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you essentially he was saying like the last 20 games, which is basically where we're at now, it's like it doesn't really matter because the playoff teams are usually locked in by this point and the seeding doesn't really change that much. It may change by one spot up or down, essentially. So they're saying like people opting out of opting out of the bubble is essentially like it shows how little like these last couple games matter because it's like nothing's really going to change at this point. So why am I doing this? But that got me thinking about like, for you, is it better? Do you prefer parity or do you actually want to figure out like who's the best team? Because I feel like you were saying about baseball, like if a team just gets hot for an extended period, like they aren't necessarily the best team, but they got hot at the right time and now they're the champion. Like does that championship really reflect who the best team was, like in a normal MLB season would? Or do you like the fact that basically anybody has a chance at this point and it's just who gets lucky at the right time?
I mean, true. Okay, so to answer your question, I would prefer parity because like the Nationals last year, like just Cinderella story of the decade.
Mm-hmm. But would parity, like would parody make that every year thing, and would it make it less special when a Cinderella does happen?
I mean, look at the NFL. The NFL, in essence, have parody, even though they have the evil villain, the evil empire over there in Boston. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, the NFL, it could be anybody, any year. Yeah. They're probably the closest outside of March Madness. Mm-hmm. So, in essence, even the same question could be answered, like, has the best team won? And typically, it's either the hottest team has become the best team during that stretch. Yeah. Truth be told. So I'm cool on the parody, but I do feel like you need an evil empire though in sports. I do feel like you do need an evil villain that everybody can latch on to hate together.
Not everybody, just all the haters.
Well, a lot of people.
No, I mean, I guess like for me, like I'm looking at it, the value of a championship. So like the Packers won a Super Bowl 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, damn, that was a long time ago. But yeah, they won 10 years ago. Like I feel like it was so fleeting though. Like it's like, okay, you are the champion, and then it's just like, okay, that was a nice little story. Like, let's move on to the next thing. Like, whereas like a Bucks championship for me would be like, man, we were the best team. You know what I mean? Like those Packers, they just got hot like from week 10 on, basically. Like they kind of stunk, or they were middling early year, and then they won like their last 6 regular season games, and then just like rolled that through the playoffs. Whereas like the Bucks have to be like a dominant team from start to finish, essentially, to win a title.
True.
So I guess like looking at it as a fan of a team, like I'll be like, man, this Bucks title, like we had to grind for this shit for what?
So you like the
entirety of my life? Yeah, like I guess like for me, it's like that title would mean more as opposed to just like, oh man, we got hot, and you know, like we were on a hot streak.
I mean, like, I guess I just bust your ass to get on a hot streak too, though.
Yeah. Or you just catch injuries at the right time, or like I feel like you can't really like. An NBA title is more unimpeachable than like an NFL title where people just be like, well, y'all got lucky because Patrick Mahomes got knocked out with a concussion. Like otherwise, y'all would have lost.
About Toronto last year?
Yeah, but that's how many other times has that happened in recent memory? Because like even that year that like the Cavs got hurt a bunch, like
I mean the year that the Warriors Golden State went and they should have lost to Houston when they was down 3-0 or 2 or 3-0, and then Chris Paul got hurt.
I think they were down 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
But still, like
it happens.
It does, but I feel like one game and you're out. Like there's so much more room for fluky shit to happen.
True, I'll give you that.
Because the best team is going to win usually in 7 games. Like the best team comes out at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Ken? What you like?
I feel like parody is dope. I feel like I agree. Like what Eric was saying too. Like with the Bucks situation, like you know, like Bucks fans thirsty for a ring, and like when it finally happened, like it's gonna be like super fulfilling. Right. Like I'm used to winning like we are. And it's all right. The Bucks fans like winning.
Shut your ass up, man.
Y'all get there eventually. We just used to winning over here. So
that shit ain't happening this year.
We go see.
God. I don't know how the hell they became the favorites and we blew their ass out. Then we get hurt the second game and they all of a sudden the favorites. Man, shut that shit. That shit pissed me off. So I'm serious.
All right.
Smack first game, just blew them up. Both of them was there too. They had both of them there healthy. Giannis got hurt second game. Oh my God, the Lakers are the favorites. Oh my God, they beat the Bucks.
Right, they had to take out Giannis to beat the Bucks.
That we did for beating y'all. That tells you everything you need to know. They're there. Y'all had to geek yourself up. Man, we beat the Bucks, man. Now we know we come.
In the 7-game series, I'm okay. You can go 7. Come out on top.
Pause.
Yeah.
So sorry, I want to get the exact wording of this correct. Mark Calloway, aka The Undertaker, has quote unquote retired from the WWE per The Last Ride docuseries. The Undertaker said, "If Vince was in a pinch, would I come back? I guess really only time will tell. And in case of emergency break class, you pull out the Undertaker. I mean, I will have to consider that. Never say never. But at this point in my life, in my career, I have no desire to get back in the ring.
Mm-hmm. It's a dope documentary, by the way.
Me and Sam go binge watch it. We haven't watched it yet.
Especially dope.
I don't have the network anymore, so is it on the free part or you got to pay for it?
It's probably on the free part. I think the whole network free, ain't it?
No, they have like tiers now, so like it's free like for the bottom tier, but then like to get access to real stuff, like
that's right, back to series probably.
I don't know. Like they may be trying to. I don't know what's free and what's not at this point. Like they may have a little bit more content for the free side just to pull people in now that it's an option, but I don't know. So Undertaker retired. You think this is legit, or you think he'll be back at WrestleMania?
One more time.
Vince is always in a pinch because Undertaker's always there. He's always there. So Vince must always be in trouble.
Oh, just to put a bow on this, backtracking a little bit, the deal is done between the MLBPA and MLB on health and safety protocols. So camps open on July 1st. It's official.
Baseball's back.
They have a schedule and everything. So, yeah, it's back.
All right.
Sports is flying back now. Everybody like, all right, well, they all coming back.
That's crazy. They'll actually be the first ones to play. Because it looks like you said July 24th or something like that, right?
Yep.
NBA doesn't start until July 30th, so they slid right in there.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you mean.
They're going to make sure they get a couple of those, all them eyes on baseball, and then they go combine it right at that time, so they ain't just NBA no more.
And
they came back right into, and then NASCAR and pissed all their fans off. Baseball finna get all of them right on back. America's favorite national pastimes coming right on TV right before the NBA too, and they've been talking big shit about the NBA on Twitter. That side, they've been over there doing some. Yeah, we don't watch fucking NBA anyways. They waiting on baseball.
That's why NBA does what they do. They don't have to worry about offending them people.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. I was like, shit, they don't give a fuck about you anyways. They're doing just fine.
But yeah, back to Undertaker. So, do you care at all?
I do, because Undertaker is an icon. Like, in wrestling, I've been wishing he retired before Brock broke his record. Honestly, I was hoping that he would retire without his record being broken. And then I was hoping he would retire with Brock breaking this record for him just to come back again and then lose again. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, bro? Like, you should have been gone. You should have been done. You laid your hat and your cloth and everything like that in the ring, came back naked as a bitch. Like, come on, bro. You supposed to be gone after that.
Kente cloth?
What'd you say?
I said he had a kente cloth?
Right, bro.
No, I think I have seen like excerpts from the documentary, and it seems like that was his plan. Like he was saying like he didn't think his body could go through it anymore. Like, so he did plan for the Roman match to be his end, like to be the end. But then he had like a hip replacement or something, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he can barely walk, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, dog, he putting his body through hell, bro. He was limping 24/7. He was in pain 24/7, yo. For years. That shit crazy.
That's wild.
Sit down and enjoy his life, bro. Enjoy your wife, enjoy your kids. Bro, you've done enough, like, real talk.
And she a yoga teacher. She get him right.
No, I think he's good now. That's what they were saying. Like, he had the hip replacement, and it was like kind of a, I don't know, not experimental, but it's a new procedure that works better for like athletes and stuff. Because they were saying like if you have like a normal hip replacement, like you're done, like you can't wrestle anymore. Like that's why, what's his name? Hulk Hogan don't wrestle anymore. You had a hip replacement, he's done. But
good,
like. Right. But they're saying like the way that the Undertaker's was done, like that should allow him more mobility and more like wear and tear. It's not as, because like I don't want to get into the medical because I don't know it that well, but I know it, like for a regular hip replacement, like they cut your bone and then like they put the cap on top. So it's like, but the one that the Undertaker did, like his was a little bit like they just put like kind of like a, I don't know. Like it's just not as intense as a normal hip replacement would have been.
Right.
And he was saying like afterwards he felt so much better. Like he felt like he could go. And if you've noticed, like aside from that Goldberg match, which was fucked up because Goldberg concussed himself, like he has moved a lot better since that Roman match.
That Roman tag team match that he had was probably the best match I've seen him look. The best I've seen him look in years.
Right.
And the AJ Styles cinematic, but they had, I think they said it took them all day to shoot that. All night to shoot that.
Yeah. But I mean, like it came out looking good. So like, I wonder if he'll come back to do some stuff like that, possibly. Because he did say, "I don't think I'll get back in the ring," but that obviously wasn't in the ring. So
right.
Yeah, he didn't have to take the bumps that he normally would. But
or have him come back as a manager.
I don't know. Like I think he, again, like I don't know. Like whatever he can do to make money, like I'm sure Vince is pitching him everything. But I don't know. So if this is the end of the Undertaker,
that would be fun because he looked like he done been through hell and back.
For real. He need to have a seat. Draw like B. You done?
So UCLA football players are demanding that a third-party health official be on hand for all football activities to see that protocols for COVID-19 are followed, saying that they don't trust Coach Chip Kelly's program to act in their best interest.
Oh, Chip back in the news.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there are a lot of other teams that follow suit, because if I was them, I wouldn't trust these teams that have my best interest. Like, think about how many. Have you seen how many teams have reported, like, oh, we have 15 players that tested positive for coronavirus. Mm-hmm. We had 30 players.
6 here, 7 there, 18 there.
Like I think Alabama, Clemson, and another major program recently, like, they all released that news. And it's like, yeah, I would imagine so, because you have, like, players together in close quarters, like hitting each other, touching the same balls. Where I even start? And I mean, like, they're probably, like, they're young and they feel invincible and they probably aren't, following the guidelines. So, and I would imagine, like, these head football coaches are all too keen, like, they're probably looking the other way. It's like, oh, y'all good. Like, y'all can, run this drill, run that drill. Go hit. Yeah. So it does say that from the document, it says, these demands reflect our call for an environment in which we do not feel pressured to return to competition. And if we choose not to return, that our decision will be respected. If our demands are not met, we will refrain from booster activities, recruiting events, and all football-related promotional activities. The decision to return to training amidst the global pandemic has put us, the student athletes, on the front lines of a battle that we as a nation have not yet been able to win. We feel that as some of the first members of our community to attempt to return to normalcy, we must have assurances that allow us to make informed decisions and be protected regardless of our decision. Which to me is fair.
Yeah. That makes sense. Because, all these schools and teams worried about is just any ball on the field. Like,
they're trying to get their revenue.
Go on the field any means necessary. So yeah, it makes sense, man.
How's this Chip Kelly, bro? Like, hey, you can't trust Chip. Yeah, you good. Trade your ass the next day. Hey, yeah, let me get that scholarship back. What?
Shady somewhere nodding in agreement, like, yo.
Right. Don't trust him. Don't trust him. You probably hit him up.
Don't trust that nigga.
Don't trust him at all.
So two-time All-Star Andre Drummond says that he plans to pick up his player option that will keep him in Cleveland for another year. Drummond, who was traded to the Cavaliers by the Detroit Pistons in February, has a $28.75 million option for 2020-2021 season.
21.
He said on Tuesday's episode of the ESPN podcast, Le Batard and Friends, that he, quote, definitely will be in Cleveland next season. He said, it's going to be hard to give up So you can count on me being in Cleveland still. I definitely will be in Cleveland.
What he said was, ain't nobody paying me $28.75 million next year. So I'm going to hold on to that and be in Cleveland.
I mean, shit. If somebody said, you got to move to Cleveland, but we'll pay you $28 million, like, yeah, you know, man.
Right.
Cleveland rocks.
Like, Cleveland? It's something there, right? Hard Rock Cafe? Okay.
Man, I go live I go live on a KKK farm for 28 minutes. Oh, I'm joking.
Yeah, you wildin'. Not I, sir. Not your boy.
No, I'm good on that, bro.
Hey, man, y'all sure?
No, I'm good. I am good.
I can't bring my kids to that shit. I'm straight.
You can't bring it. You can leave your kids home. Just wire the money back.
Oh shit.
So Brooklyn Nets guard Spencer Dinwiddie caused a minor stir on Twitter while responding to a graphic that depicts sports ranked by difficulty. He retweeted the tweet saying, "Football ain't harder than basketball." He then responded to the naysayers by saying, "Riddle me this. For all the non-believers, how many D1 football athletes find out they can't make the NFL, then just decide to go to the NBA and get drafted? And then how many vice versa? Neither are easy, but the combined skills acquired in basketball are generally transferable. All y'all are doing is focusing on the capacity for contact based on injuries, which are obviously going to be higher in a sport based on hitting people." Facepalm emoji. So I'll read off the rankings and then I'll ask you a couple questions. So according to Unbiased American Sports, which sounds fake and made up, the sports ranked by difficulty are: number 1, boxing; 2, ice hockey; 3, football; 4, basketball; 5, wrestling; 6, martial arts; 7, tennis; 8, gymnastics; 9, baseball/softball; and 10, soccer. They actually ranked it all the way through 60, with the last 3 being shooting, billiards, and fishing. So, do you agree with Spencer? Is basketball more difficult to play than football?
I mean, using his point, he has a point. There's a lot of guys that play basketball that decided they wanted to just play football. But it's not a million dudes that play basketball that went over to play football outside like a tight end or two. Like you got the Antonio Gateses and the Jimmy Grahams, but it's not a million of them.
And it's still 200% more than have gone the other way.
Right.
But like, it's not really a fair comparison because there are way more jobs in football than there are in basketball. So the chances of playing basketball professionally are much lower in general than football.
Right.
Yeah. And there's more players on the football field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like there are more jobs. Like so like there are 60 what's the cutoff?
53 on the roster.
53 on the roster. Plus the practice squad. So let's round up and say 70 per team. Whereas like it's a max of 17 on a basketball team with two-way players, you know what I mean? Like so.
Right.
Yeah.
But on the skill, as far as skills, like, do you think that it's more difficult to play basketball than football?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is. It's more difficult to play basketball than it's football.
I would agree because, like, you can be super specialized in football, but in basketball, you generally have to be able to do everything. Like, you play both sides of the ball. Everybody touches it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, like you can get switched on different defenders, so you have to be able to defend. I mean, yeah.
You got to think. You got. I mean, it's the physicality with it as well.
Yeah. But like NFL, like if you can run fast, like you can probably find a place on the football field for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have a specialized skill where you could, you're a kicker, like you can make it, or a long snapper, like they can find a place for you on a football field much more easily than they can on a basketball because you need to have at least some type of basketball skill.
Yeah.
To play. So then I read off the top 10 again. I mean, already I can do it again if you need it, but do you agree with that top 10. And just to reiterate, because people are listening and they probably want to answer too. So 1 was boxing, 2 ice hockey, 3 football, 4 basketball, 5 wrestling, 6 martial arts, 7 tennis, 8 gymnastics, 9 baseball/softball, and 10 soccer.
I would put soccer up, bro. Like, you doing everything with your feet. Like, the control these cats be having, like, the way they can bounce the ball off their body, bro. Like, it hit a shoulder that they can conveniently let it fall into their lap, that they roll onto their toe, and then strike that bitch from 35 yards out, make sure it curls in the top left corner. Soccer's definitely up there, bro. Like, the dexterity that you need for you to kick the ball the right way, that it curls into the direction that you're going, and you know, based on the wind and how everything is going, that you kick it hard enough in that direction that it's going to curl your ass right back into that top corner. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I'm going to agree with you just off of the fact that I'm confused by what you were just saying. So if that's actually soccer movements, then that sounds difficult to tell.
The soccer players, they be getting their shit off. Like, watching Ronaldinho, just like him fucking around, bro. Like, the shit that you can do with a soccer ball is amazing, and you just using your feet and your knees.
I mean, it'd be people that are never sniffing like professional soccer, that like the stuff that they can do with with a soccer ball is just
like wild.
What do you think about boxing?
Man, they cold, bro.
Yeah. What do you think about boxing being the number 1 sport? Ken?
Oh yeah, no boxing. First of all, there's no way I can box because I don't want to get hit in the head in the face.
Exactly.
But no, I don't know. I don't want to learn how to dodge and all that shit, bro. I'm straight. Like, I'm cool. I'm cool.
Boxing training is the best part.
You said what?
The training for the boxing is the best part. Like the cardio and the weights and the speed training and shit. Like,
but it's so much that go into it though. Like, you can train as hard as you want to, but like, as soon as you get hit a few times, you damn near start forgetting all the shit. So then it's like survival mode. So it's like, shit, I'm just trying not to die today and shit.
What Mike Tyson say? Everybody has a plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Hey, that motherfucker dangerous. Y'all keep talking about, y'all motherfucker, I smoke women. Fuck no. Dude is still, he's probably more dangerous now than he was when he was in his 20s.
Bro, I'm straight up.
The motherfucker different, dog.
I smoke with him, but I ain't getting up in the ring.
But if he does, because he's apparently gonna step back in the ring soon, for a charity fight against somebody. I'm like, bro, I would definitely watch that. Whoever he fighting, you go get their ass.
Hey. Wait, did y'all see the video of that cop talking about step in the ring? Like, all the people talking shit about police officers. Like, I want to see you step in the ring, and then plenty boxers came. Like, all right, and then he switched up his tone real quick.
Not y'all.
You would.
Not y'all real niggas.
Hey, no, not y'all. That's y'all job. I'm not talking about y'all job, bro. I'm talking about all them other randoms, bro. Like, nah, dog. You get the fisticuffs too.
You like, I'm great. Black Lives Matter. I'm cool.
Yeah, I would probably put soccer like top 5, and I would drop wrestling down. Shit, I don't know what I would put number 10 though, honestly, because I know ice hockey is hard.
I can't even ice skate.
I can ice skate. I used to be really good at ice skating. That's why I know it's hard. Because I'm like, just learning how to ice skate and just do simple shit and tricks on ice skates is already hard enough. And then you turn around, you will give a motherfucker a stick and some shoulder pads and something stop on the dime and watch out for that motherfucker that's gonna blow your head off. Fuck no. Hell no. And they can use the boards, bro. Nah, bro. No, bro. I'm good.
Wait, so I got the audio of the cop talking shit.
And let's step in. What's up, TikTok? So I just watched another video of some clown with a camera running his mouth to an officer. I think it was in New York, and calling him a bitch and a punk and take that badge and gun off and let's fight. So here's my question. A lot of you clowns like to do that. Y'all really think we hide behind our badges and guns, and a lot of us, obviously, we can't fight. That's what y'all think, right? Okay, so how about if we come up with a system that the officer signs a waiver, you sign a waiver, and put your camera down, we put our badge and gun down, and let's step in the ring. Let's see how many of you would actually sign up, since you feel like we're a punk behind our badges and guns. I'll sign a waiver. How many of you gonna step in the ring with me? I'll wait.
All right, so that's the shot. Now here's our chaser.
Definitely did not challenge black people. I did not challenge Black Lives Matter. I did not challenge Antifa. What I said was clowns. That means if you're not a clown and you're not one of the idiots that randomly just walk up to an officer because you're in your feelings and say, take off your badge and gun and I will beat you up. What I said did not apply to you. So I've been getting all kind of messages and friend requests and all that good stuff. Guys, listen, it's pointless. Okay, I'm getting all type of professional boxers that have been boxing for 300 years and decide, okay, well, because this cop said this, I want to fight him. And that's the wrong answer. If you want to fight me, that's because I did something to you. Right now, half of you guys are running off at the mouth because of what I do for a living, but you've never personally met me and I've never done anything to you, nor me. So if you want to get in the ring, make sure you have a valid reason besides what I do for a living. So
he backpedaled like a motherfucker.
Man, that motherfucker was running full speed, talking backwards.
He backpedaling, bro. Yeah.
No, I was just playing, man. What y'all doing, man? Why you not chasing me like that? Leave me alone.
I did nothing about no professional boxers.
Right, I got boxers calling me, bro. Y'all got y'all daddies and uncles in there. Black Lives Matter in my shit, dog. And Tifa talking about they gonna hit my shit with bricks, bro. I did not say that to y'all. Y'all don't count, bro. And he was gone, dog.
He's like, niggas, hell.
Done.
So Charlotte Flair is reportedly set to miss some time. According to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio, Charlotte is scheduled to undergo surgery, and there's a hope that she will be back in time for SummerSlam in August. PW Insider's Mike Johnson noted that the surgery is elective and expected to keep Charlotte out for 6 weeks. Alex McCarthy of Talk Sport, man, there's plenty of wrestling publications. I didn't know this many existed. But he reported that Flair plans to take some personal time off after the surgery and may not be back until around the time of the 2021 Royal Rumble in January, unless a good storyline opportunity pops up for Survivor Series.
She still got the title?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
No. Asuka got the title. She actually. So what happened is they wrote her off because she had a title match against Asuka yesterday or Monday, and she lost. But before the match, she got beat up by Nia Jax and messed her arm up. And then she had a match with Asuka. Asuka was pretty much focusing on the arm the whole match, made her tap out by stretching the arm out, and then Nia Jax turned around and beat her up again and slammed her arm in like some equipment and stuff like that after the match. Oh. So it was kind of like she was getting beat up the whole day by Nia Jax. And now she's off of TV. So I was like, oh, that makes sense now.
All right. So our final story is somebody that I've talked big shit about since before the show. But yeah, she stood up and said something. So I respect him for it. But Brett Favre, he says that Colin Kaepernick will be treated as a hero like Pat Tillman and that he deserves to play. So he said, and I quote, "I can only think of, right off the top of my head, Pat Tillman's another guy who did something similar, and we regard him as a hero. So I'd assume that the hero status will be stamped with Kaepernick as well. It's not easy for a guy his age, black or white, Hispanic, whatever, to stop something that you've always dreamed of doing and put it on hold, maybe forever, for something that you believe in. I think from a football sense, I can't imagine him being that far out of shape or that far out of touch with football that he doesn't deserve a shot. He's still young and hasn't been hit in several years, so there's no reason to think that he's lost that much of a step." So, do you agree with Brett Favre's thoughts on Kaepernick reaching hero status? And do you think he is already seen as such to the black community? community?
Yeah. I think that he's getting it. If he's not already there, he's getting pretty close to hero status, and he'll be talked about for a long time from this situation. And I don't know if it would be like Pat Tillman, because Pat Tillman really is a symbol for a lot of them, for a lot of people. I say that, but so is Cap right now, I guess, and it's weird saying that, but I can see it just because of the climate that we're in right now as well. That's just my take on it.
Ken, what you think?
I think Cap is already considered a hero. Just because, like a lot of stuff that Favre said, like he gave up like his dream and something that he truly loved for something that he, truly believed in. And that's like huge right there. So yeah, I feel like that he's already considered a hero, especially in the Black community. But period.
I agree. I think that in the Black community, like he's definitely already seen as a hero. And I think that will only continue to grow. Like I think, I don't know whether he comes back or he doesn't. I don't think it makes a difference to his legacy. Like, I think he's already, like, I'm hesitant to make the Muhammad Ali comparison just because, like, that is like GOAT status, but it's very similar. Like sacrificing the prime of your career for something bigger than sports.
It's huge.
And actually, like, I guess I take that back because I guess if he's not able to come back, like he'll be like a martyr. And I don't mean that derogatorily. Like he'll actually be a martyr. Like he sacrificed his career for social justice. Mm-hmm. If he does come back, like just thinking about like Muhammad Ali's come back, like he came back, won the title. You know what I mean? Like he came back like that. I feel like, stamped him with GOAT status, right? Mm-hmm. So like if Kaepernick is able to come back and perform, whether he performs or not, but if he's able to get back in and it's like I fought the system and I won. And like I've elevated the platform that I'm trying to, push through. So yeah, I think again, just thinking strictly from the Black community, like I think that he's already seen as a hero. The larger population, I think the tide is turning. Like I think that people are realizing now, like, oh, he had a fucking point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and all these people like now coming out like, oh, well, peaceful protest, like that's the way to go. Like people are gonna latch onto him.
You see Trump?
That type of shit.
You see Trump turn around and say that?
I don't give a fuck what he had to say. Fuck him. Not to cut you off, but fuck that person. I don't give a shit what he had to say. Like whatever he's saying is disingenuous, and
of course it is.
Like it does. Like we don't need to amplify it. He already has a large enough platform. Fuck him.
Fair enough.
But anyway, yeah, I do think that he is reaching. Like I think that people are going to like probably. Some people are going to have an issue with comparing him to Pat Tillman, but I do think that it's similar. At least it's not a 1-to-1 comparison, but it's right. A similar like decision making process.
We get what you're the idea. We get it.
But that is our last topic. So it's out. Blow the whistle.
Sam wanted me to blow the whistle on Sammy Guevara.
Okay.
From AEW.
Whoa. Okay. Let's do this correctly. It's cue to drop.
Let me find what he said real quick. Well, I have it in my head what he said, but I'm gonna just find it.
All right, now that's enough out of you. You know what? Tee his ass up.
I'm gonna blow the whistle on AEW wrestler Sammy. I think his name is Guevara. Anyways, this nasty motherfucker. So he came out with an apology recently because a clip of him on somebody's podcast talking about his interaction when he was trying out for wrestling and he ran across Sasha Banks. His initial reaction was she was so attractive that he could just rape her right there.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck will possess you to say some shit like that out loud too? You sick fuck. Why would you think some shit like that in the first place? Like, that's some fucked up shit to be thinking. And then these women, there's a lot of, and in wrestling right now, it's a lot of sexual allegations coming out. This motherfucker's getting fired left and right. Your ass should be on that list too. That's absolutely fucking disgusting. And so now he's come out with this big apology. Oh, I was young and I was dumb and I apologize for what I said and da-da-da. Like, no, bro, that's a bit much. Yeah. That's a bit much. Because then now how about your other female counterparts are going to be around you? Now they no longer feel safe around you. They might not. They might. Who knows? But I wouldn't. You saying some shit like that, then how did you feel about me? Thinking for them.
Yeah.
It's some wild shit out here, and this world is already going through some crazy shit as is, and some shit like that then came out. Some I'm sorry ain't just gonna cut it.
No.
So I'm blowing the whistle on his nasty ass, and then hope they get him the fuck up out of here, because that's some wild shit.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Like, that is disgusting. It's a disgusting way to think. It's a disgusting way to talk about women. Like, it's a disgusting thing to think. Like, I think that he tried to justify it by saying, "Oh, I was just joking." Like, it was like, nah. Obviously, I wasn't saying that I wanted to rape her, but like, no, that's literally what you said, fam. Like
there was no hesitation. There was
no.
I just want to rape her right there. Like, what? What?
Joke about it.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, and if anybody listening to this thinks that shit is cool, it's not. Like, it's not cool. It's not funny. It's not like
okay.
It's wrong, fam. Like, it's that clear. You know, it's that clear cut. Like, it's wrong.
Yeah, ain't no justification.
Yikes! But yeah,
but take top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tech top 5.
All right. So we didn't have a poll last week. But what was even the topic? You remember, Tim?
When the Tupac songs?
Tupac songs. There you go. So I'm gonna claim the W. Thank you.
What was your number?
Appreciate it. That was my number 1. California Love.
Okay.
We should post still.
So what?
You ain't gonna just take no dub, bro. Like, nah.
So this week, in celebration of the NBA bubble returning or kicking off next month, we decided to rank the top 5 teams. I don't know. How do we want to word this? The top 5 teams in the bubble? Top 5 championship contenders?
Yeah, let's go there.
There we go.
That's how I rank them.
So of the 22 teams that are in the NBA bubble in Orlando, we are ranking the top 5 teams as we think they'll be the champions. That doesn't make sense, but you get what I'm saying. So which one of y'all want to go first?
I can go. No problemo. Number 5, I'll go with Denver. Like their squad, I got them as a dark horse, like for real. Number 4, I'll go with Toronto. I feel like they'll be there. They still a big, dangerous team. Siakam is still getting, like, Siakam was hooping. We'll see if it continues and shit, but they got a solid squad. Number 3, I got the Clippers. All the robots and 10 men will pull themselves back together again and be ready for this little 25-game run or 30-game run that they about to have. Number 2, I got the Lakers. I mean, because, you know, they're nice. They got Brown in the brow. And number 1, of course, I got the Bucks.
What did you just say about the Lakers?
I said y'all number 2.
Oh, okay.
I said y'all number 2. Did you hello y'all number 2? Okay.
Okay. I was trying to decide for my number 5. I had the Rockets in, but then I remember how small they were, so I'm gonna go with Boston at 5.
Okay.
4, I'll go with Philadelphia.
LA.
3, sorry, Kim, but I'm going with the Lakers.
Mm.
Like, if this was normal circumstances, they would be my number 2. But I feel like they've lost their home court advantage. Because, like, imagining, like, a Lakers-Clippers series, like, I feel like the Lakers playing all those games in LA would be, they would be all home games for the Lakers, whether the Clippers were, like, the nominal. And I feel like it's such a toss-up between the two. But I give slight edge to the Clippers. Like, they're deeper. So if they do get, like an injury or an illness, like, they have more ammo. Okay. And the Lakers are losing their bench if Avery Bradley and Dwight Howard and them don't come. So, So 2 is Clippers, 1 is the Bucks.
Fair enough.
All right. So at number 5,
I have disrespectful. I had the Bucks at like 5 and shit.
No, I ain't like you. At 5, I had the Clippers.
So the Clippers that you disrespect. I'm kind of offended. That means you see them as a bigger threat.
But Clippers at number 5, 4. Oh shit, hold on. My bad. Okay. 5, the Clippers. 4, Boston. 3, Philly. 2, the Bucks. 1, the Lakers. The champions. Les champions.
Les champions. That man keeps reinventing himself. Jericho is up there in GOAT conversations.
He go level, bro. He low-key go level.
So just before we wrap up, I just want to send a shout out to Camille. She's dealing with a close loss to her. So just thoughts and prayers with her. And she'll hopefully be back with us next week.
For sure. We love you, Millie.
But she's at Camille Monet, CamilleMonae.
Because.
Oh, yeah. But that's on Twitter and Instagram?
Yeah, no, add her on Facebook.
There you go. Yeah. And PSN too. I'm at Bucksburner on Twitter. That's all you get.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Everyday_gentleman on Instagram. KHarris216 on Twitter and Snapchat.
And it's your boy, TIMKINZB, number 3, a.k.a. Ass Ketchum, a.k.a. Mr. Give It To Me. Ciao for now.
Kick your ass.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.